Hello, what's going on everyone? This is Yamimash and here I have a team deathmatch gameplay on Dry Dock, but this one is very different. This is a gameplay which was very close. It's a game that went down to the wire more or less. We didn't win both rounds, it wasn't a clean sweep, it was actually a lot closer than the average game. So I thought you guys might want to see a game where I had to struggle a bit more, there was more deaths, but it was an intense match and it was a lot of fun and my heart was racing throughout. So I think if you guys like this kind of close, competitive, well it's not competitive obviously, but this close, down to the wire kind of thing, I'm sure you'll enjoy this gameplay. But anyway, as this video is titled, or at least I'm going to reference it in the title or whatnot, I'm going to talk about my primary school and my high school and college, my antisocial life throughout high school and stuff. Well, it's something I haven't really spoke about before, so it's kind of hard to really do this, but I'll do my best, guys, so wish me luck. We'll start off at primary school, since that's the earliest point. And, you know, primary school's fine, really. It was, you know, I wasn't really at the age to, you know, really be, quote-unquote, slightly antisocial, if I should say. And I would say I am maybe a little less socially inept compared to the average person, and I'm a bit awkward. But I wouldn't say that I am completely terrible when it comes to socializing, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Primary school though, primary school was, you know, it was fine. I was young, had a lot of fun playing, you know, tag and hide and seek and making dens in the woods, you know, all the stuff that we as young kids, or at least a lot of young kids do. And you know, it was great stuff, great fun, loads of birthday parties, eating cake. I really enjoyed it. Now let's get into high school. This is where it really begins. So high school, like I mentioned in a previous commentary a good few weeks, maybe over a month ago now actually, I spoke about going into high school, and I didn't say this, I didn't have many friends that went to high school. Most of the people from my primary school that I was friends with went to different high schools, so I went into high school with not many friends. And when it comes into how they group people in terms of the results you got in primary school. Like, let's say you got 4 C's. Okay, this is how the UK grade system works. You can get an A, which is the highest grade, A is highest, B second highest, C, D, E, F, and then it's just a U, which is ungradable. It's a complete fail. And I think in primary school I just got loads of C's and stuff, and they put me in kind of the middle-ish kind of sets in high school, and I was put in sets and I didn't know anybody. It was a completely brand new experience, and I had to, you know, socialize and meet all these new people and make friends. And my tutor, which you go to every morning, or at least I went to every morning for 20 minutes, completely new people again. And the thing is, the person who was sat next to me, I managed to make friends with. I was so happy with myself that I managed to make friends with someone. And you know, he was sat next to me in tutor, and I managed it, and it was alright. It made the mornings pretty great. But then when it comes to other classes, I wasn't as great at that kind of thing. The good news is, I didn't really get bullied at high school. I know bullying is a huge thing and a lot of people suffer from bullying, but I never really got bullied. Like, I never had big kids coming up to me asking for my lunch money, or stealing my foods, or randomly attacking me. No, none of that stuff ever happened, and I don't know how I managed to escape from it. Maybe it's because I wasn't, I don't know, overweight, or I wasn't entirely quiet, or I don't know why people didn't pick on me, and it surprises me a little, really. I'm not really a strong person, I'm not that tall, really. You know, I can't, you know, it's hard to defend myself. I will say though, I have gotten into a fight before, and I'll speak about that in a little bit as well, if I remember. Hope I don't forget. I'll remind myself in a few minutes. But before I get into that, so I was a bit surprised I never did really get bullied at high school, because it's a big thing, bullying. It happens to a lot of people. But I actually made a friend in the tutor, and I spoke about in a previous commentary about this thing called a fun club, which is a lunchtime club where people go to, or kids went to have fun. It's in the title, Fun Club. Well, the title, I mean the name. I've been posting too many videos, obviously. And we went there, played board games and card games. It's where I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way, as I mentioned. Actually, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh in the library when I walked past some people. But Fun Club is where I continued to play Yu-Gi-Oh. And when I started playing the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, I kind of got everybody in the Fun Club influenced into it, and they started playing it too. So the power of influence for the win. But yes, so I made a lot of friends with all the people in Fun Club. It was kind of the place where all the bit of the weird kids went, so I joined them, and yeah, I was a bit special, I guess. My mum says I'm special, and so does my nan. She says it's good to be different, and I agree with her. Okay, this has been very awkward so far, but anyway. Let me get into that fight, actually, because it was quite funny, and this did actually happen, mark my words. So I was in the library, not the school library, I was in the local library in my town centre, and I was reading something, and there was this guy on a table near me being really loud and obnoxious, and I think I had a friend with me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look tough. You know, I was only like 12 or 13, and I was like, I'm gonna look tough. So I looked over the other side and told him to shut up, and He was not impressed. He was a bit chavvy. He thinks he's hard and all that. And he was like, you what? You know, I can't do a chavvy impression. Oh, no scope. And so I was like, yeah, let's take this outside. And I kind of said it a bit of a joke, really. I didn't really mean to. And he's like, all right then. So I took it outside, and we went into this little grass field near the library, and I was like repping myself up, bouncing up and down, I'm going to go for him. So he started walking over to me, and I swing for him, and I end up tripping over onto the floor, and he's just stood there kicking me in the stomach, just stood there kicking me. And I get back up, and he whacks me in the face, and then I'm just like, okay, I'll call it quits, you win, whatever. And had this big lump on the side of my face, and my stomach wasn't good either. I had like some bruises on my stomach and shit. But when I went home, I had this big like lump on my face, big massive bruised boulder, and my mom was like, obviously, what the fuck? And I said to her, I walked into a lamppost. That's the first thing I thought of. It was the most retarded excuse I could ever think of, and I don't think she believed me, to be honest with you, but that's a story that I don't know if any of you are going to believe it, but it did happen. I wouldn't lie about this. It honestly happened. I made it sound quite funny, I guess, but it was a bit more serious maybe in that sense. But, I wasn't that old, and it was my first ever, and I think my only fight I've ever had. I don't really get into fights. I'm not a conflictual, is that even a word, kind of person. Like, I don't really want to engage in fights, physical aggression. I kind of just, if things get heated, I kind of just leave and just fucking, I just completely get away from that, because I don't think fighting is, always the answer, really, because all it does is, just causes pain. And, fighting, in some regards, physical fighting, aggression, it can be valuable when it's for a reason, when it's for maybe a loved one, or it's for the right reasons, and it's the only way. But if it's something pathetic and immature, and it's not necessary, and it's just to make yourself look hard or whatever, there's no point. There's no point whatsoever. It should only be a last resort, or something to solve something, and whatnot. And especially when I'm at my age now, I would never consider fighting. There's a lot of bar fights in my area, and I know a lot of people who get into that kind of stuff, and they've been in a lot of trouble with the police and stuff because of bar fights, smashing glasses around people's heads, stuff like that. Crazy stuff to think of, but it happens a lot. Anyway, that's really off topic. I was supposed to be speaking about high school. What have I done? I've kind of gone off on one again. Sorry about this, guys. I just can't control myself sometimes. So yeah, in high school, I'll admit, I wasn't the most social person in the world. I went to this fun club. I didn't really know that many people. I will say, though, my leisure and tourism class was the greatest thing in the world. I had a really good friend in there. His name was Billy Bird. Big shout out to you if you ever get into this commentary, because I know Billy, he's been watching my videos. Good friend from high school in my leisure and tourism class, and he was like one of the cool kids. He was like up there, one of the coolest kids in the school. I respected him. I kind of wanted to be like him. I wanted to be as cool as him. And yeah, you know, big shout out to him. He was a great friend, and I think I'm gonna go for a drink with him at some point in December because he comes back from uni then. But anyway, Legend Tourism was great. I enjoyed those lessons. Those were the only lessons I really enjoyed. And I remember when everybody went on a field trip to, I think it was a local museum or something, and me and Billy didn't go. We just stayed in class playing video games and eating snacks and drinking drinks that we brought into school. It was a great day. Yeah, that's that anyway. And now I'll quickly speak about college. I've only got a couple minutes anyway to speak about this. College was fine. I went into college at the age of 16. I stayed in college till I was 19, so 3 years. I did 1 year, then I did another 2 years on a different set of subjects, which were A-levels. Obviously, that's the United Kingdom, what's it called, education system or whatnot. And you know, I was a little more social in college. You know, I kind of was getting to that age, and I kind of improved my techniques of speaking to people. I made a few friends, and yeah, it was alright. College was alright. I had a couple really good friends in there. I haven't spoken to them in a long time. I know something that is really, really sad, and I've been kind of thinking about it a lot lately, is, you know, the friends I've had when I was at a really young age, friends that I knew for 5-10 years growing up. You know, when I was like 10 years old up until the age of like 15, 16, or from like, the age of 7 up until like 15. You know, these friends I've had for a long time. I haven't spoken to them in 4 or 5 years. You know, they've gone to uni, or they're at college and they're, you know, doing stuff, and I haven't spoken to them in a very long time, and it saddens me really because I miss them. I miss my old friends that I haven't seen in a long time, and I really want to speak to them. And it happens to everyone, I think. Those good friends in your childhood, when you grow older, you just find yourself getting more distant from them, and it's sad times, really. You know, I do miss those memories I had with them. Anyway, that's that, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop me a rating. I will appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Goodbye.